Welcome back to Man Cave Movies. I'm your host, Gary and Andrews. This is my Man Cave, and these are my movies. On this latest installment, we are discussing John Singleton's 1995 classic film, Higher Learning, starring Omar Epps, Christy Swanson, and Michael Rappaport. I have chosen to focus this installment, this episode, on Michael Rappaport's character, Remy, because I think his character arc is the most interesting in the film, actually. And I know some people paint him out to be a villain, but those of us who are fans of the film, who've seen it several times, we all know that he did not start out that way. So we're going to dive right into it. So the film is set on the campus of the fictional college, Columbus University, named after Christopher Columbus. So that's something within itself. We won't dive into that. But we meet these three characters in their freshman year. Now, Michael Rappaport's Remy is roommates with Ice Cube's character, Fudge, and Busta Rhymes' character. So, the status quo, college life, fraternity parties, the whole nine yards. Remy, played by Michael Rappaport, is from Idaho. So he is fresh off of the farm. All of these things are new to him. He wanted to get away from Idaho, and so that brought him to Columbus University. It seems as though he just wants to get an education. He doesn't quite know where he fits in, so he's trying to find his way on campus. Now, why housing pair this white guy fresh off the farm with Ice Cube's character and Busta Rhymes' character? I have no idea, but it was a roommate match made in hell. Remy would be in his room trying to study. Ice Cube's character Fudge and Busta Rhymes' character would come in. They would start blasting music while he's studying with no consideration for their roommates at all. Now, most people would say, oh, well, he can't tell them when they can play their music and he's white, so it was probably because it was rap music that he didn't want it played. I think that's rubbish. If I am in a room trying to study and my roommate comes home blasting music with no consideration or no regard at all for what I'm doing, I'm going to have an issue with that as well. That has happened to me. I had several roommates when I went to acting school. I think it was maybe four of us to a suite. I would come home late in the evening after taking all these classes, rehearsing for those classes, and there would be a room full of people playing video games. That annoyed me. No consideration for everyone else. So I can see where Remy is coming from. But now, the way Remy handled the situation, he told them, what if you were trying to study and I came home playing my music? Ice Cube said, well, I wouldn't feel any way about that because that wouldn't happen. Remy asked why. He said, because I would whoop your ass. That's why. So Remy did what he should have done, which is get his things, and he was assigned to a different room. This time he was assigned to a suite with Omar Epps, and he was assigned to a suite with another young man. I forget the character's name, but he got moved to a different suite. And that's kind of where his demise started. So he had these roommates, they were inconsiderate, threatened him with violence. He had to get out of there. And we'll dive into more of Remy's story when we return. We are currently discussing John Singleton's 1995 film Higher Learning, starring Omar Epps, Michael Rappaport, and Christy Swanson. Now, before the break, we discussed how Michael Rappaport's character Remy moved out of his dorm with Ice Cube, and Busta Rhymes' character moves in with Omar Epps and another character. So all seems to be right with the world. He has moved out. He can study as quietly and diligently as he wants. Now, next, he decides to go to a fraternity party, which we've all done on campus. When I started school, I attended the Omega oil spill. There are a plethora of sorority and fraternity parties. It's like a rites of passage when you start college. So seem to be fine. Now, if you have not seen the film and you plan on watching it, you may want to pause this podcast, go watch the film, and come back because there are several spoilers ahead. So at this fraternity party that Remy attends, Christy Swanson's character, Christian, gets raped by one of the fraternity members. They get into it. She tells him to stop. He needs to put on a condom. He does not stop. She continues to tell him to stop. He keeps going. He rapes her. um Kristen gets up, she runs from the party, she's distraught. The assailant tries to play the drunk card, he calls her, whatever. So in the process of all that, Christy Swanson runs home to, well, she runs to her dorm where she shares with Regina King's character, Monet. The young man calls, he wants to speak to her. She tells Regina King's character, I don't want to speak to him. Monet tells the young man, she's not hearing. If she was, I don't think she wants to talk to you. They exchange some dialogue. He ends up saying, put her on the phone, you black bitch. Probably not the best thing to say. Monet calls Ice Cube's character Fudge. He calls all of his friends. They go to the fraternity house, and you know what ensues from there. So after all of that happens, Remy approaches the young man, trying with this macho bravado, asking how it went in the room. The guy jacked Remy. He jacks Remy up. Remy is embarrassed. Yet again, he leaves and he goes to sit to read his book quietly at some remote location on campus. This is when he meets Cole Hauser's character, which, further sends him spiraling down this dark tunnel. We'll discuss the third act and my opinion about Remy when we return. Welcome back to Man Cave Movies. I'm DeGarian Andrews. This is my Man Cave, and these are my movies. Again, we are discussing John Singleton's 1995 film, Higher Learning, starring Omar Epps, Michael Rappaport, and Christy Swanson. So we've come to the point where Remy has been embarrassed now twice, once by his roommates and one by this fraternity member that has just committed rape. So he goes off to this undisclosed location on campus. He's reading his book when he is approached by Cole Hauser's character, Scott. And at first he thinks Scott is hitting on him, so he threatens Scott. Scott tells him, I'm not hitting on you. I just want to know if you want to hang out, have a couple of drinks. So Remy has been wanting to belong somewhere since the beginning of this film. And so now that Cole Hauser's character has extended this olive branch, of course he takes it, not even reluctantly. Someone is seeing him, someone has noticed him, so of course he takes the olive branch. Now, what he did not know was that Cole Hauser's character was a member of the Aryan Nation. He takes off his hood. He sees that he is completely bald. He introduces him to his friends. They have all this Nazi paraphernalia in their dorm room. It's a lot. And Remy accepts that because they have accepted him. So, they begin to fill his head with all of their thoughts, their ideologies, all of their beliefs that they are superior. The black people are there to just hold the white man down, to take jobs from them, etc., etc. So now Remy begins to act out. He's becoming more bold in his stance, and he sees that Omar Epps is wearing this Black Panther shirt. He approaches Omar Epps about the Panther shirt, saying it's reverse racism, and then he calls Omar Epps a coon. Now, he lives with Omar Epps. Omar Epps confronts him when he gets back to the room. He threatens him, and things go left. Remy becomes upset. He trashes the room. His actual suite mate comes in. What are you doing? Remy attacks him. Omar Epps' character comes in. He pulls Remy off. Remy then pulls out a gun and holds them both at gunpoint. He yells some racial slurs, and then he leaves. And he's not seen again for a few days. And when he is seen again, there's this big rumble in the quad with Omar Epps, Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes, and their friends, and Remy and his new set of friends. Omar Epps' gang, or I don't want to use the word gang. Omar Epps' friends, his friend group, actually are the victors of this squabble, which sends Remy and his friends down another shame spiral. So they concoct this plan to pay them back. Now, this plan for payback is to murder people. They come up with this plan that at this event that Christy Swanson and her friend have put on for Campus Unity, that they're going to murder people. And that's exactly what Remy does. He takes his assault rifle to the top of a building while the event is going on. He opens fire. And I personally feel, and I've always personally felt, that he targeted Tyra Banks' character, Deja, to get back at Omar Epps' character because he shoots her. She dies. Um, as she's dying, Omar Epps, he just goes blank, and instead of running for help like Lawrence Fishburne's character asks him to, he runs toward Remy, and they actually meet each other. Remy is trying to go down the stairs, or my Epps is going up. They meet up in the middle, and a fight ensues, of course. Omar Epps is getting the best of him. These white cops pull up. They start to beat Omar Epps because they think he is the shooter, or maybe they don't think he is the shooter, if you get my drift. At the end of the film, they are trying to reason with Michael Rappaport's character, Remy. He decides to take his own life. The film then ends with the lessons that Omar Epps has learned and Lawrence Fishburne's character was trying to teach him. Now, I chose Remy's character to dissect because I personally feel, first of all, let me say there is no reason ever to take someone's life. None whatsoever. I don't support it. School shootings are horrible. There's no reason to ever take someone else's life. But I will say that Remy, Michael Rappaport's character, was not this person to me, my opinion, at the beginning of the film. There are several events that lead him to this point, that trigger him to this point. There was the way he was treated by his roommates in the beginning. There was the way he was embarrassed by the fraternity members. There was the bullying and the threat by, well, not bullying, but there was the threat by the Omar Epps character. So there was a series of events that got him here. I don't think that he was this way at the beginning, although I like to say what is in you will come out of you. I think that this was learned behavior over the course of his time at Columbus University. That is just my stance. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. Feel free to agree with me in the comments. But whatever you do in the comments, make sure that you like, subscribe, send to 3 friends, have them send it to 3 friends, and come back for every single installment of Man Cave Movies. This is DeGary and Andrews, your host, signing off.